Yo, what is going on? That's a bit better. Apologies. There we go. There we go. What's up, guys? It's random mode time already, by the way. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of. That's incorrect. I can't type. Not enough Java yet. There. What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see everybody. Wait, day 18 of some Witcher 3. Yeah. But first, we will do what we always do. Hop into our video gaming news segment. Right. I hope everybody's day is going well. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and hop in here and get to it. Okay. Go. That's a bit better. Nice. Alrighty. I'm not gonna read into this. We come across these websites all the time that are like, I mean, you can tell that this is a site that is more than likely going to be promoting any kind of crypto based gaming economy, games based on NFT, Web3, blockchaining, things like that. The site is called CoinDesk. Okay. I've started to notice we come across these sites quite often, and it seems like they're very, very centered around promoting these types of content. And while we are absolutely going to dive into anything that is pertinent regarding news of video gaming industry and what the industry has to do with over encompassing, you know, those kinds of areas that the industry no doubt has been taking a dive into, these kinds of sites which seem very promotional and have an agenda behind what they're reporting, I'm trying to stay away from. I am a bit biased. I do not feel like games built on crypto economy and centered around NFTs and blockchaining are being built in a way that is beneficial to both the consumer / gamer and the developer as well. So it's not done in a mutually beneficial way. It's just done in a way that seems very scummy right now. I think it can be done in a mutually beneficial way, but it's just not being done. So I think that at this point, I'm very biased in a way that I think everybody should stay away from them. That doesn't mean that I will avoid all content that has to do with crypto gaming, NFT, stuff like that, but I am very, very hesitant to dive into these articles that are coming from sources that seem like they are very promotional for that type of content. Okay. August PlayStation Plus essential games have been revealed. Let's take a look. A new Xbox update will make it easier to tell you which games you can and can't currently play. What? We'll see. PlayStation VR 2 lets you broadcast yourself stumbling around games. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, this is unfortunate. Knights of the Old Republic remake is delayed indefinitely. Okay. Boy, we've been getting a whole slew of titles here recently that are being delayed. Feels bad. Leaked shots show Amazon's colossal take on Fallout's. I'm guessing their new series they're creating around Fallout. We'll take a look. We'd already seen a little bit, a couple of screenshots or sets. We'll take a look though, and we'll see what they got for us. What we had seen previously was some shots of a super duper mart, which looked basically like very similar to what you would see in Fallout 3. So the thought was that the series was being based more around the environment and world of Fallout 3. But we'll see what we have at this point. Hey, hey, hey. Get free Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077 goodies on GOG. We've been talking about GOG here lately because we've been playing standalone Gwent. And I actually had a question from our community member Gamer Extreme here recently about the potential of anything free that comes up on GOG. And they occasionally do. And here we go. So we'll dive into that. Some free stuff. We like free stuff, man. We've already talked about Netflix's new free games. I'm not going to dive into that. All right, let's pivot. Again, unfortunately, but hopefully for the best, the new Gollum game that is being developed has been delayed from a September launch to potentially early 2023. Okay, late 2022, but I think early 2023 is where it's probably going to hit at. Maybe it was late 2022. I think they're shooting for still the end. That so if you want a more detailed look, check out yesterday's news segment. TLDR Gollum video game is being delayed. It was slated to be released at the same time the new series was coming out from Amazon, but what they are saying is that now potentially the game is still they're trying to get it released around the same time that the show will be ending. And I think there's what 8 or 9 episodes, so we're talking probably around 2 months. So towards probably November, December time frame, probably for Gollum, if they're able to hit that still. Wizards of the Coast sets up a video game studio led by Dragon's Age producer. Okay, let's see what's going on there. I was going to say, we read about this like a while back. This is like a month ago, so we've hit on all that. We hit on this yesterday. Funko has a new AAA video game coming out. Looks like it might be kind of like a fighting a brawler type platforming game potentially. If you want more on it, look at yesterday's news segment, okay? We hit on this a very, very similar article a few days ago, just going over what was like about 10 to 12 things that you might not know your console can do. And it covers PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox. It was pretty informative. A lot of things most people probably know, but there could be some things there. Looks like John Cena is coming to Fortnite. Other video games owned by Epic, like Rocket League and Fall Guys, are also going to see some WWE crossover cosmetics added. So, not necessarily worth us diving into this, but be aware that if you play any of those games, Fortnite, Rocket League, Fall Guys, looks like we're going to have some WWE mashup crossover stuff happening very, very soon. Disney Dreamlight Valley preview. What is this? Okay. Looks like Ubisoft is now coming out and saying that Roller Champions isn't getting canceled. Ubisoft has canceled numerous games and delayed numerous games over the past week. Of late, what we had read was that Roller Champions, one of their more recent live service online multiplayer games, was also getting canceled. But this is a game that we actually tried out, I don't know, a month and a half ago, something like that. Tried it out on a weekend stream, and it had some cool concepts, but it was also really buggy. It was really buggy. It crashed consistently. I mean, constantly through the few hours that we played it. It was just constantly crashing, and that doesn't feel good. So we quit playing it. And again, it had some cool concepts in it that I think Ubisoft could have done a really good job with. But everything that we had heard over the past couple days was that they were going to be taking the game down. So we'll see. Looks like they might have backpedaled a bit on that. People are already complaining about multiverses. This is another kind of Smash Bros esque platforming fighting type game. Let's see what the complaints are there. All right, let's see that. Let's see what we got. August PlayStation Plus Essential Games have been revealed. Tony Hawk 1 and 2 and Yakuza Like a Dragon are among next month's free games. Deal Labs user Bill Kuhn, who has been accurately leaking the PS Plus lineups almost every month since September of last year, has revealed what they claim to be the new titles coming to the service in August. The new batch of games reportedly includes Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 and Yakuza Like a Dragon. According to Bill Kuhn, the 3 games available from August 2nd to September 6th will be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Little Nightmares. Cool little game. The Worst, what is up, my friend? How are you, buddy? Good morning, good morning. Good day to you. I know it's not your morning, but good day, buddy. 2020's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 received favorable reviews from critics and debuted as the fastest selling entry in the franchise, selling 1 million copies within its first 2 weeks. VGC's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 review said of the game, Vicarious Visions has delivered a superb remake of 2 iconic games without letting modern gaming's vices get in the way. PlayStation Plus Essential is the new game for the base PS Plus subscription service where players get access to a few free games every month. Players can continue to play these games even after they're no longer available to claim at the end of the monthly period, as long as they continue to subscribe to PlayStation Plus Essential or a higher tier. Once their subscription ends, they'll no longer be able to play these games until they resubscribe. I'm okay. Took a month off sick because she couldn't say sorry. This is you're referring to this whole work situation, right, buddy? Yeah. That sucks, dude. Yeah. That's a rough situation, my friend. I'm sorry, dude, but hopefully we'll get to see you around a little bit more if you got some time off. Hopefully the time off will give you a little bit of time to relax, chill, even yourself out from all the probably stress and anxiety you've been dealing with that whole situation, you know. Yeah, obviously taking its toll. Hopefully you'll be able to get yourself back to normal a little bit, and we're always here for you, buddy, you know. I am sorry you're having to deal with that. New Xbox update will make it easier to tell which games you're allowed to play. It is good to see you, man. The update is out now for Xbox insiders. Microsoft is trialing features that'll let you know which Xbox games you can and can't currently play. As first announced by Xbox engineering lead Eden Marie. In the 2 tweets below, Xbox insiders are now testing a few brand new features across Xbox One and Xbox Series XS consoles. This feature comes in the form of a slate of new badges, which will let you know if you can play a game on your Xbox consoles for any particular reason. For example, a badge on your Xbox console might denote a game you can no longer play because it's left Xbox Game Pass. Alternatively, another badge might denote a game you don't currently have have the disc for inserted in your console, or if you're not signed into the Xbox account that owns the license for a particular game. This feature should help users sift through the deluge of games on their Xbox consoles to tell which games they can and can't play more easily. That's actually really nice. The new feature should be beneficial considering the hundreds upon hundreds of titles readily available to Xbox Game Pass players and how easily the Xbox dashboard can get cluttered with dozens of downloaded titles. Right now, it's not clear when this feature could roll out to all Xbox One and Xbox Series XS owners. Considering Xbox insiders are usually a fair few weeks, if not months, ahead of the curve for general players, we could be waiting a while before the feature is out in the wild. That's really cool, though. That's a nice implementation for sure. Yeah. Feeling a lot better. Dude, that's great to hear. That's great to hear, buddy. I'm glad, dude. PlayStation VR 2 lets you broadcast yourself stumbling around in VR games. Sony is teasing some more details about its upcoming PlayStation VR 2 headset today. After detailing the design of PSVR 2 earlier this year and some games that will support it, Sony is now confirming that the headset will include a see-through view to see your surroundings, a broadcast mode for filming yourself while you play, and a cinematic mode where you can display non-VR games and media content on a virtual cinema screen. Sony's PSVR 2 see-through view will let players keep the headset on thanks to cameras embedded in the front of the headset. Comes in handy when you want to easily check where the PSVR2 Sense controllers are in your room without taking the headset off, explains Yasao Takahashi, Senior Staff Product Manager at Sony Interactive Entertainment. The view sounds a lot like what's available with Meta's Quest headsets. Yeah. If you're interested in filming yourself while you play VR games, the PSVR2 will include a broadcast mode that requires a PS5 HD camera to be connected to the PS5. Broadcast mode will let you capture your movements or reactions during games and share them using the built-in tools on the PS5. Much like the MetaQuest headset, you'll also be able to create a play area for the PSVR2. The embedded cameras in the PlayStation VR2 headset will scan a room, and the VR2 Sense controllers will let you drag and drop the play area to your liking. It's very similar to the Guardian play area on the MetaQuest, and if you get close to the boundary, you'll get a warning about the play area boundary. Cool. Sony's PSVR2 will have two main modes, VR mode and cinematic mode. The VR mode is designed for VR game content in a virtual 360-degree environment, and it will display at the maximum resolution of 4000 by 2040 HDR video and a 90 Hz or 120 Hz frame rate. It does. Yeah. But that's just part of content creation nowadays, you know what I mean? For somebody that's not into content creation, it might not be that appealing. But to people that are into content creation, it could result in some pretty good stuff. Some pretty funny stuff to put out there, the worst. To Bo, what is up, my friend? Here, just a second, buddy. Let me get you.
Now that we're friends, is it okay if I pet you?
Thanks for all the work you've been doing, dude. It's long to give 7 rolls to 66
OutsiderAntics gifted Tibo a subscription.
We'll talk about this. I know you've been working already. Hey, thank you, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. We'll talk. We'll talk. This is going to be a process for us, and don't sweat it too much, especially the initial rolling out of all this thing, this stuff that we've been collaborating on and that you're trying to implement for the server and everything. Don't stress too much, okay? Don't stress too much about it. We'll get it taken care of. Everything you're doing is an improvement upon what the server already had. So as we get it done, it's an improvement to what we already had. So we'll get it, okay? Don't stress too much about it, okay? We'll get there, buddy. We'll get there. All right. I'm doing great this morning, my friend. Thanks for asking. So yeah, we'll talk. Let me get through this news segment. As we play some Witcher and stuff today, we'll probably have a little bit of discussion what's going on. Maybe we need to just have some discussion through Discord and stuff later or whatever to get a bit more, bit more like this on it. But we'll get there. We'll get there, buddy. Yeah. I do appreciate everything you've already done, my friend. I really, really do. The cinematic mode is designed for all other content in VR, and it drops the resolution down to 1920 by 1080 HDR video with 24 Hz, 60 Hz, and 120 Hz frame rate options. It's really designed to watch videos, and players will be able to see the PS5 system UI and then switch to a virtual cinema screen to watch content. We still don't have a price or a release date for the PlayStation VR 2, but Takahashi says Sony will, quote, share more information soon, including launch date and additional games coming to the platform. Meanwhile, developers will start to get access to the latest user experience for PSVR 2 in a new system software update, coming soon as part of the ongoing development. Okay. Yeah, we've continued to see more and more and hear more and more about PSVR 2 coming out. I think that, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's just, I think, as we move forward again, and kind of as we talked about, buddy, as the channel moves forward and as we grow, it'll get a little bit more intense with what needs to be done. But anything we can do to streamline and make things as intuitive for the user to take care of for themselves, that we don't necessarily have to do for them, is just going to make it easier on us. And I think you're already very, very, you've already got that mindset when it comes to implementing those kinds of things in the server. So I think we're on the right track there, man. Yeah. I think we're on the right track. Yeah. Again, I don't think that Xbox is working on anything in particular for specific Xbox VR stuff. Whereas PlayStation has had VR since PS4, right? And apparently the original PlayStation VR was a pretty decent headset for whenever it was created. And I think that as we move forward, VR is becoming a more and more, what's the word I'm looking for? People, not just in gaming, right? Across many different sectors, are embracing VR as something that can be incorporated into lifestyles. So while it's a very, very cool thing for video games and a very immersive thing for video games, it's also something that is being utilized across all different forms of life. For instance, like sports training, right? You see potentially, like, and I'm just giving scenario based things here. You'll see people that are into sports like winter sports that aren't necessarily in, instead of having to go be in an environment where the sport they take place in has to do with snow, whether it be skiing or snowboarding or whatever, they can be put on machines that give them the simulation, the feeling of being in those environments, while putting on a VR headset that puts them in that environment, right? And instead of having to travel and go around, they can just have that setup right there at home, and they can train as often as they want without having to travel. Is it going to be the exact same thing at this point as being in the real life environment? Probably not. But it's still, we're getting to the point where it's a much more viable application, even outside of gaming, to utilize in life, right? So VR is coming a long ways. It's being incorporated into a lot more things in life, and even with gaming, it's being embraced a lot more. And I think PlayStation's doing a good job right here by continuing to create something for their consoles in the form of VR hardware. I think it's a good play on their part. Oh yeah, I'm sure, Tabo. I'm sure. Yeah, and I'm glad. I'm glad you've got a little bit more experience in messing with some other server stuff as well. Yeah, yeah, that makes me a little more comfortable with what you're doing. But I mean, that's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. I can attest. That's how I've learned a lot about technology, man. Is I've just always messed around with stuff. Even with what I do here in this channel, I mean, in up to this point, I've done literally everything myself, and this is not anything that I'd ever really like, especially video editing, digital art, anything like that. That is not anything on the side of IT that I'd ever really messed with. But the more you are interested and dig around and play with stuff and figure things out, the more educated you get on it, and the easier it becomes for you, right? Absolutely. This is sad. Knights of the Old Republic remake is delayed indefinitely, according to report. Sounds like there's trouble at developer Aspire Media. Star Wars The Knights of the Old Republic remake was announced in September of 2021. It was a pretty big deal. Coder is one of the best Star Wars games ever, but it's also nearly 20, like actual consensus, Knights of the Old Republic still wins surveys constantly about what the best Star Wars game is of all time. It's also nearly 20 years old, which makes it a challenge to play these days. A remake seemed like a can't-miss project, but a Bloomberg report now says it's been delayed indefinitely amidst trouble at developer Aspire Media. According to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, Aspire completed a vertical slice demo of the remake at the end of June to show to executives at Lucasfilm and Sony. The following week, art director Jason Miner and design director Brad Prince were both fired from the studio. Prince indicated on his LinkedIn page that the termination was not expected, writing, "Things can change very fast in a day. I am no longer working at Aspire and looking for work." The vertical slice, essentially a demo that intended to showcase all of the game's intended features in action, and that Monkey Island creator Ron Gilbert once called one of the dumbest things the game industry has ever come up with, is apparently the cause of the uproar. Miner may not have seen trouble coming, but sources told Bloomberg that Aspire studio bosses weren't pleased with the state of it, or of the amount of time and money that had been put into creating it. There are also concerns about the remake's projected timeline. Aspire had said internally that it would be out by the end of this year, but developers are now reportedly believe that a launch sometime in 2025 is more realistic. That's the sort of discrepancy that no amount of crunch or anything else short of straight up magic could ever solve. For now, the full status of the Coder remake is unclear, but employees at Aspire have reportedly been told that the company is seeking new projects and the remake could be moved to a different developer, possibly Aspire's parent company, Saber Interactive, which is a subsidiary of Embracer Group. Now, if you recall, Embracer Group is who actually bought all of Square Enix's North American development studios earlier this year. And that also came along with them acquiring the IPs for Thief, Deus Ex, and Tomb Raider from Square Enix with those acquisitions. I've reached out to Aspire, Embracer, and Lucasfilm Games for more information and will update if I receive a reply. Wow, that's pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal. Well, there you go. Anybody that was pretty hyped up for the remake of Knights of the Old Republic, just put a pin in that one for a while, because it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that anytime soon, okay? That's pretty wild news right there. Leaked shots show Amazon's colossal take on Fallout's power armor. Cool. Photos from the set of the upcoming TV show suggest that Amazon is taking its design cues from Fallout 4 and 76. The set for Amazon's upcoming Fallout TV series seems pretty leaky, because today we got our first close-up look at the Bezos Empire's take on Fallout's trademark power armor. Folks, it's huge. Holy crap, dude. Yeah. Check that noise out. As it should be. It should be huge. Eagle-eyed observers on Reddit note that the design of the armor in the photo strongly resembles the T-60 power armor you might remember from Fallout 4 and 76. That suggests that the aesthetic direction of the series is being set by Bethesda's East Coast Fallouts, rather than the Western-flavored games of yore. Although, I'll go to my grave declaring not only that New Vegas is the best Fallout, which many people would agree with, but one of the best games of all time, I have to admit that Fallout 4 was a strikingly pretty thing indeed. Amazon could do a lot worse than to take its visual cues from Bethesda on this one. This isn't the first clandestine shot that's been smuggled off the Fallout set. Last week we got a few snaps that seemed to show the show's design for vault interiors and vault suits. I hadn't seen that. Before that, someone stumbled upon a scene that was almost certainly a set from the show while out and about in Staten Island. Again, to someone's credit, they all look very Fallout indeed, right down to the tail fins on the burnt-out nuclear-powered cars. To Bo, thank you, my friend. Thank you very much, buddy. The show is set to star Walton Goggins and Ella Purnell, but there's no word yet on when it'll be released. Job listings suggest that shooting started sometime around the end of last month, with a realistic release window of 2024. Considering how polished the props and sets look in these photos, that seems like a fairly accurate guess. I confess I'm still a bit skeptical about this one. I love Fallout 1 and New Vegas, but while the Bethesda games are good fun, I've never felt like the writers of them have managed to get enough of a grip on the setting to say anything really interesting with it. If the series ends up taking its plot cues from Fallout 4 and 76, I'm not sure they'll be able to get me on board. I probably will spend a lot of time watching YouTube clips of people stomping around in power armor, though. Yeah. In other Fallout news, Todd Howard, or Hod Toward, as he's often referred to in this community, recently stunned the world by announcing that, yes, Fallout 5 will arrive one day. It'll be after Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6, though. So there's every possibility that by the time it comes out, it'll just be a mirror of our own real-life apocalyptic wasteland. In the meantime, why not check out what the PCG Brain Trust has settled on as the best Fallout to play today? One day. Yeah. Well, you know what? That just goes along with what Todd Howard gives us in that it just works. A shout out to Hod Toward there. Yeah. I kind of figured at some point there would be a Fallout 5, but it would be a very long time because of these other titles they have that they're working on right now. So, one day there will be. yeah, Tabo, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, cool. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, that's funny, man. Hey, I don't know if Gamer's hanging out. Our buddy Gamer Extreme was actually asking about this the other day. I think he just recently installed GOG. GOG, if you're not familiar, is another platform to have a games library. One of the differences being, they have their own store and everything, but GOG is very, very user-friendly for importing your libraries of your other platforms into GOG. So it's really nice. I utilize it. I don't utilize it for my Steam library, but GOG is like, you can connect your Ubisoft account. You can connect like your EA accounts, Epic Games. I think there are a few other ones on there. You can connect a lot of different platforms to GOG. So that way, anytime you start up GOG, it'll actually populate your library with all of those accounts. Any games you have from any of those accounts, it will just populate. It connects to all of them if you have connected them, your accounts, and it will populate your libraries into that one platform, GOG's platform. And it's pretty convenient. So occasionally they do give away some free stuff as well. So as you can see right here, they do have an app as well. Let me pull it up real quick. Right here, I'll throw this in chat, okay? This is the GOG store, right? You can download, install this, and if you're interested, it's right there in chat, okay? You can see they're giving you a bit of a, basically you go into your account, you go to settings, you can connect your GOG account to, like I said, Ubisoft, EA, all these different Epic, and it will just populate your library with all those games. So it kind of gives you a one-stop application for your PC rather than having to go to all those different places, right? It's pretty convenient. And occasionally they do some free stuff. So get free, and if I remember correctly, GOG is actually the platform that is that CDPR's platform? Yes. Okay, so here you go. GOG.com, GOG, the formerly Good Old Games, is a digital distribution platform for video games and films. It is operated by GOG, a wholly owned subsidiary of CD Projekt. Okay, so that's why quite often you'll see free things come up on GOG that have to do with the IPs that they own, right? Which is why right now you can potentially get some free stuff from the Witcher series. You can get some free things from Cyberpunk because it is a subsidiary owned by CD Projekt, okay? Yeah. I was pretty sure, but I wanted to verify before I gave out some potentially, misinformation, right? Get free Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077 goodies on GOG. Not the games, but several gigabytes of art, music, and related swag. Okay? So CD Projekt Red turns 20 this year, and to celebrate its anniversary, GOG is giving away 2 bundles of goodies related to The Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077, which includes art, comics, soundtracks, videos, and more. You might already have some of these goodies, either thanks to claiming them in previous giveaways or by owning the games in question on GOG, but odds are you don't have all of them. There's a lot. The Witcher pack includes footage of a concert performance of The Witcher 3's excellent score from a Krakow music festival, high-resolution copies of art and art books, emoji interpretations of characters like Geralt, Ciri, and Regis, and comics like Fox Children, which is tucked away in the Thronebreaker goodies pack. Based on a story from Sapkowski's book, Season of Storms, it's one of the better Witcher comics. Meanwhile, the Cyberpunk 2077 goodies pack contains wallpapers, concept art, art from the Steelbook editions cases, and posters of in-game advertisements, fashions, and game graffiti. It's not quite as much stuff, but then it's based on one game rather than 3 RPGs and some card game spin-offs. Note that this 20th anniversary... okay, Tabo. Yeah, I'll see you in just a bit, buddy. Be safe on your walk, man. This 20th anniversary is the birthday of CD Projekt Red, the game development studio founded in 2002 when CD Projekt, the Polish retailer and publisher, acquired the rights to Andrzej Sapkowski's Witcher and decided to try its hand at this whole video game making thing. CD Projekt itself dates back to 1994 when founders Marcin Owinski and Michał Kaczynski, who'd been selling cracked copies of games on CDs in a Warsaw marketplace, decided to go legit. If you're interested in the history, here's how CD Projekt Red climbed to the top of the RPG mountain, then slipped. CD Projekt Red's last release was another Witcher spin-off, the roguelike deck builder Gwent Rogue Mage, which is the most brutal Witcher game yet. As our own Lauren Atkins says, one thing I've realized since playing Rogue Mage is that I'm actually not as good at Gwent as I thought. While I figured out the meta for some of the cards, there are certainly enemy types that keep obliterating me, and as PC Gamer's resident Witcher aficionado, I am not happy about it. So here you go, guys. I'm going to throw this in chat. Again, if you're interested, there's some cool, it's not necessarily free games, but some free content for both the Witcher and Cyberpunk universe. If you are a fan of either one, might be some cool content to dive into here, okay? Java. Wizards of the Coast sets up a video game studio led by Dragon Age producer. The Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering publisher sets up a new studio. Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons publisher Wizards of the Coast has established a video game studio led by Dragon Age's former executive producer. Christian Daly, who announced his departure from BioWare in February, will serve as vice president and head of studio at Skeleton Key, a new Austin, Texas-based game development studio working on a AAA project. I'm excited to be starting this new adventure with a company that has created so many of my favorite toys and games growing up, Daly said. Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast have been a huge influence on me. Their brands have inspired my pursuit of a lifelong career in video games. We're looking forward to growing our studio team with more talented creators who share our passion. Wizards of the Coast have been, yep, we just read that. President of Wizards of the Coast and Digital Gaming, Cynthia Williams, added that the team is, quote, thrilled to continue to build our roster of exceptionally talented digital gaming leaders We will greatly benefit from the experience that this team and new video game studio bring to Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Skeleton Key is one of several studios Wizards of the Coast has established in recent years, joining Archetype Entertainment, Atomic Arcade, Tuku? Is it just Tuk? Games, and more. The studio didn't reveal any more details about what it's working on, but it will likely be years before anything is announced, as it's only just been formed. While Wizards has established a number of studios, its most recent high-profile game, Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, was not well received. No. Neither was their Magic game. Our review noted that Tuk Games had created a bland, boring trek through repetitive encounters. Let's hope Skeleton Key makes something more impressive. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Wizards of the Coast has a new dev studio. Skeleton Key. I like the name of it. The name of it's really good. Pretty cool. Disney Dreamlight Valley preview. A charming fantasy. A first bluish Disney, I haven't even heard about this, I don't think. Disney Dreamlight Valley seems to have a relatively simple core concept. What if Animal Crossing, but Disney and free to play? Really? The upcoming adventure and life simulation video game essentially tasks players with restoring the world of Dreamlight Valley to greatness with a number of classic tropes. This time, however, there are a number of Disney and Pixar characters along for the ride, and it makes for a charming experience that's admittedly a bit hard to really gauge without its monetization implemented. The premise of Disney Dreamlight Valley sees players leaving the city they live in and returning to an idyllic childhood meadow of sorts before falling asleep. This transports them to Dreamlight Valley following a fairly robust character creation where Merlin is running about trying to deal with all the problems currently plaguing the place. Dreamlight Valley once had a magnificent ruler, you see, and they brought together all sorts of Disney and Pixar characters like Mickey Mouse, Moana, Remy, Wally, and more to live and play together. But those days are in the past, and the current state of Dreamlight Valley is dismal. There's been an event called The Forgetting, where all the characters that used to hang out around have split up and largely forgotten everything, including who that mysterious ruler was in the first place. And so that player must return Dreamlight Valley to greatness once again. That involves getting rid of pesky night thorns infesting the palace, which requires simply running up to them and poofing them away with a small fraction of energy, and working with characters like Scrooge and Goofy to once again open up their shops. Fighting the Forgetting is simply reforging those characters' bonds, leveling up their individual friendships, and working together to take on simple quests using tools like a watering can, fishing pole, shovel, and pickaxe. While it sounds simple in theory, there are plenty of complex systems just under the surface. Doing any action requires energy, which replenishes over time or can be regained through eating or resting. Buying things and opening shops requires star coins, which can be gained through selling items, found while removing the aforementioned night thorns, and more. Quests are often locked behind becoming better friends with characters, which can be accomplished through doing tasks for them or simply giving them gifts. And certain specific quests, like opening up other sections of Dreamlight Valley, requires Dreamlight itself as a resource. If that sounds a lot, that's because it is. But Disney Dreamlight Valley is far from stingy with all these resources in the early hours. Getting Mickey to Friendship Level 3, for example, came with a bonus of 500 star coins. Dreamlight can be earned through quests or challenges, which range from harvesting fruit a certain number of times to taking a photo to equipping a new outfit. At no point did I ever feel like I had to grind or scrounge for materials, as there was always some method of earning it with some sort of task that was immediately available to me. Yeah, Mamzelle, I was actually thinking about you when this came up. It is worth noting that all these systems seem a lot less malicious, in part because the video game's battle pass, called Star Path, was not implemented in the preview build on PC. The game is eventually going to be free to play, but will sell founders packs, quote, filled with exclusive goodies such as in-game currency, cosmetic items, and more, according to GameLoft. These will also grant entry to the... What's up, Mamzelle, by the way? Good morning, my friend. These will also grant entry to the early access launch, as will an Xbox Game Pass subscription. To top it off, there will be purchasable expansion options, though it is unclear what that looks like at the moment. That said, GameLoft's Manea Castet, game manager on Disney Dreamlight Valley, has previously said in no uncertain terms that time-based activities and energy that determines how much a player can actually do at any given time cannot be increased or sped up through microtransactions. That seems to imply that classic in-game purchases for real money that so often riddle other free-to-play video games won't be involved at all. Okay? Disney Dreamlight Valley, at least in its current form, feels charming and simple enough. There's cooking, crafting, and decoration galore, and plenty of Disney and Pixar characters for kids and Disney-obsessed adults to interact with. Honestly, the combination of Disney with these sorts of Animal Crossing-like mechanics feel almost overdue. And if that's ultimately all Disney Dreamlight Valley turns out to be, it will have succeeded. It is set to release in early access on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Switch on September 6th. It's also set to release on iOS. A full release is set for 2023. All right. You're Disney. It's Disney to sign you up. Here's my thing. I think what we need to do is create a new studio, and we will actually call it Disney backwards. So YENSID, however you would pronounce that. And we'll actually create all of these fairy tale stories the way they were originally meant to be. And we'll just scare the crap out of everybody. How's that sound? That's what I need in my life. I don't need these fairy tale stories that have been turned into, foo-foo, la-la. I need the original fairy tales. That's what I need. So we're going to create a studio, and we'll turn Disney's name around, and then we'll actually tell these fairy tale stories the way they were really originally told and meant to be told, right? Just really, really gnarly, scare everybody. The original fairy tales are actually almost always dark, very horror-esque, do not end well. They are pretty terrifying stories. And awesome. But here, I'll throw this in chat if you're interested in some more information regarding this Disney Dreamlight Valley title. Okay, there you go. There you go. So again, here's the deal. I have seen a lot of stuff here recently about Ubisoft. They have canceled and delayed a lot of games. One of the more recent, over the past couple of days, titles that we'd heard they are also canceling was their new live service multiplayer competitive game, Roller Champions. We'd heard seen multiple articles over the past couple of days saying they were going to cancel it. Now they're saying they're not. Yeah. In case you somehow missed it, a report about the impending cancellation of Roller Champions from developer Ubisoft Montreal recently made the rounds. The report claimed that Ubisoft was planning to cancel the free-to-play 3v3 sports video game after its third season closed out. Following that report, however, Ubisoft has come out and explicitly said that it is not canceling Roller Champions. Quote, let's clear it out the way first. Roller Champions isn't getting canceled, and Ubisoft fully supports it. The official response from Ubisoft about the future of Roller Champions begins. It goes on to detail the steps the developer is taking to better address player concerns. However, and that includes a delay of whatever content is planned for the upcoming seasons due to the extension of Disco Fever's length. Check out the full statement shared by the official Roller Champions Twitter account embedded below. Specifically, the statement notes that the developer is going to put out a patch for cross invites as well as take enough time to solve the issues our players have voiced as irritants before we release our new season. In other words, while there is new Roller Champion content planned, players won't see any of that until Ubisoft Montreal is satisfied with the state of the video game. While that might read like a fairly strong message of support for the title, there's also a little wiggle room. Could the report have been wrong? Certainly. Could Ubisoft merely be discussing possibly canceling the title and not actually having decided one way or the other as of yet? Possibly. For now, Roller Champions continues, and it seems like the developers are intent on addressing issues with the video game rather than simply letting it fade away. Yeah, okay. The most recent season of content titled Disco Fever launched on the 21st of June, and appears to have been extended indefinitely. Again, we tried this. We tried this title out. I don't know, roughly a month ago, month and a half ago, somewhere, something like that, 5-6 weeks ago. And there were some cool elements that I think they have a base to work off of, but they had significant issues as well. I'm talking constant crashes of the game, a lot of bugginess. I'm talking you would get in matches and all of a sudden you would get into a constant stutter state in the game, and it would not work itself out. You'd have to like restart the game to get it to quit, or sometimes it would quit by just getting out of the match and getting into a new match, stuff like that. It was pretty buggy. I don't know what the state of the game is now. I didn't continue playing it. What I will say is they definitely needed to incorporate some new like rinks and things like that into the game, because at the point where I played it, and it was pretty close to launch, I think, so I'll give them that. There was really only like 1 or 2 rinks that you could be competitively going around, and they were very, very similar, and it got pretty old pretty quick. They needed to do some stuff that kept the game fresh and kept people wanting to play it. Some of the mechanics of the game were pretty cool, but they needed to find things that kept people interested in wanting to keep playing matches. I think that's the big thing. And get rid of the bugs, the big bugs that made the game hard to play. The constant crashing, the constant stuttering, stuff like that. So, I don't know. We'll see how this continues to roll out for Ubisoft. Apparently, they are not fully committed to just trashing the game. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll see more moving forward. Okay, so people are... Alright, this is the last article I have for today's news segment. If you have anything else you would like to talk about that could be pertinent to the industry, video gaming news, the segment, let me know in chat. I'll address it before we finish up the segment for this morning, okay? People are already complaining about multiverses. You really cannot do anything right these days, huh? Multiverses hasn't been out a full day yet, and people are already mulling over the game and complaining in Reddit threads. But what exactly has people so pissed off? If you're not familiar with multiverses, it is a very... it's like a platforming, multiplayer combat game, fighting game. Kind of Smash Bros-esque, if you will. You can see a lot of the characters, right? The open beta for Multiverses has kicked off, and some players aren't all too happy with the free-to-play fighting game, or, well, one specific character in the game. What exactly has people going insane and just mauling in Reddit threads about one specific character? Of course, there are difficulty levels to all characters in fighting games. When playing Smash Bros, everyone knows that noobs will be playing Kirby and spamming down B over and over. So, of course, Multiverses will also have some beginner-friendly champions. But it seems like this specific noob character is a little too OP, that even high-skill players aren't able to counterplay him. Who are we talking about? None other than Taz, the Tasmanian Devil. Nice! Why are players so upset about Taz? Taz is probably the most brain-dead character in the whole multiverse. All you've got to do is press 2 buttons and spam them over and over again, and players won't be able to do a single thing about it. Seriously. Just press side B, and he's going to spin to win to infinity. Once you're caught in this tornado, then you're stuck. You'll likely lose the game. This means even low elo players will be able to win games with ease, which has some of the higher skill players pretty mad. But like, if we think about it, Taz is known for one thing and one thing only, and that is his spinning, right? Yeah. So obviously the developers would use his single skill that Warner Bros. Gave him, turn it into his only skill in Multiverses, right? The memes on Reddit are hilarious, and as someone who is a connoisseur of button smashing in these types of games, seeing one character create such havoc is truly a blessing. Is Taz going to be nerfed? Since this is currently just the beta of Multiverses, there are going to be some kinks that need to be ironed out. Seems that Taz is going to be one of the first kinks that will be handled by the balance team, since he is just way too OP for people to handle. The salt got so much that even game director Tony Quinn went to Twitter to try and alleviate some of the anger. We are aware of Taz Tornado. We are testing adjustments. No ETA yet on an update. If you're mad about the Tasmanian Devil and Multiverses, don't worry. It seems like the balance team is aware of the power this character has, and something will be changed in the future. But when has yet to be decided. That's actually hilarious. That's funny. I'm guessing what they're gonna have to do is make it to where it's a skill that'll have a cooldown. It'll also have some kind of like you can use it because you can't have Taz without the tornado, right? Dude, you can't have Taz without the tornado. You can't. That's unacceptable. Taz has to have a tornado. That's his jam, dude. That's what he's known for. You can't have him in the game without a tornado. What they're going to have to do is incorporate some way for there to be a cooldown for the use of the skill, as well as probably like maybe he gets dizzy for a second after using, like you can use the tornado. It's up. It has an uptime of like a second or two to do an amount of damage, and then he gets stunned after using it for like maybe a second, so it can't be used. That's like part of the cooldown or something. It's going to be something to that effect, I would imagine. But that's funny that people are just. What I'm guessing is like right now, if you went and played Multiverses, it's just Taz's everywhere. Everybody's just playing Taz and seeing who can get caught in the tornado first. That's actually kind of funny. Again, don't forget. Yo, hold on. Am I logged into Epic? I am not. Are there new games on Epic? I can look in. Let's look in the. Is that one? Looks like there aren't new Epic games yet. We'll talk about that tomorrow. There'll probably be new Epic games up later today, I think. Today's usually the day where the Epic games change over. But I'll bring it up tomorrow so everybody knows. If you're not aware, Tannenbaum right now is free on Epic Games. It has been for relatively like the past week. Roughly the past week. And Tannenberg, excuse me, is free right now. Go grab it, okay? Go grab it. If you've got an Epic Games account, you're a PC gamer, go grab your free game on Epic Games Store, and we'll talk about what's coming free next. We'll talk about that tomorrow, okay? That's all I have, guys. Thank you for being part of the news segment. We're going to be moving on right now to our day 18 of The Witcher 3 gameplay, all right? So if you're viewing this news segment as a VOD on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and maybe leave me a comment so we can have a bit of a discussion regarding some of these topics we went over today, okay? Also, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with all of us outsiders here in the channel when we go live every single day at 6 a.m. CST, and we start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we hop into whatever game we're playing for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, everybody just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow for July 28th edition of Video Gaming News. All right?